what's up? How you doing, YouTube? I just had my final little bit of quick lunch. Bit of energy before we start. Song, huh? Okay. What's up, everyone? How are you doing? Welcome to another live stream. It is another day. Bitcoin ain't going anywhere, right? So every day we go live. Good to have you here. Welcome. Where's Sibel? I put Dreamer back as the first song in the countdown. I don't know. It's difficult to find another one that really catches the vibe of the second one, Samurai. Kevin, Tam, Stanley, when will it end? What do you mean, my friend? When will it end? Probably the range, I can imagine. I personally still expect to be in this range for a while. Wallet, how you doing? Hike, welcome. Jeroen, how you doing, man? We got a fun announcement coming up soon with regards to Jeroen. Mendo Tab, welcome. Sibel, Job, Name, Floddy, Dominic, Rob Kromer, good to have you here, man. Welcome from the other side of the world. QZ, how you doing? Hiop, BNB, trying to train my eyes on the CVD and added the template yesterday. It's so helpful. It's nice. Just having a basic understanding of CVD is just, it really helps in trading. For example, and please keep an eye on local and higher time frames. So on the 15, we have big bullish CVD, right? But, of course, there's always a but. With regards to what we want to see, one second. During the move down, consistently bearish CVD on the 3-minute time frame, and these have a higher priority. So unless price on the 3-minute can create a bounce, invalidate bearish CVDs, or start to create bullish CVDs instead, at least not showing bearish CVD would be already, step one. That's when the potential for upside increases. So even on the 15-minute, you're like, well, we have big bullish CVD divergences, no problemo. If you then zoom in to the 3-minute, that is where you actually find your bearish CVDs as price is moving down. And you want to invalidate this. You want to see some bullish CVD divergences instead on the 3-minute after a new low is made, right? Grind to the upside and bullish CVDs coming in instead of every bounce creating bearish CVDs. I mean, look at the latest one here, lower high, higher high, higher high, right? And it's just continuously so far. So I'm keeping a close eye on the CVD. Yeah, but good, Sibel, that you're practicing your eyes, like training your eyes to see the divergences. And I think, like, look, what I generally always say in my videos back in the day with the end screen, CVD for me is the best indicator ever. And that's a personal opinion. Of course, you know, people like RSI, MACD, money flow indicator, and I do have experience with those. But for me, CVD it's the most useful in trading for me personally. But it takes a little bit of time, of course, to read it effectively. Christine, how are you doing? Welcome. Not missing a live stream anymore. Adam, good to have you here as well. Good morning. Enjoying the coffee. Sunot, I put long or short. Ooh, I should make a clip of the 6 steps of yesterday and what I answered, and then just forward it to him. Maybe I have to do that. Just make it a separate video, and then every time I get this question, I'm just putting the link in the chat so that people can go to that video. Welcome, Sonat Raiput. Long or short depends on your plan. I'll probably talk more about it at a later stage, as I don't expect this to be the only time. 008Z, how are you doing? Yeah, you guys already know. The others don't yet. Overzet Tim, the most epic wave counting I've ever seen. What's up, Tim, man? How you doing? Are you doing good? Newsly, welcome, newest member. What's up, Newsly? By the way, I sent you an email. I replied to your latest email. Which website are you using for CVDs? AGGR. So if you go to Discord and you go to the Good to Know channel at the top, right? And then here you scroll up a little bit, and then AGGR, that's the website. My template is here, including the steps on how to upload the template. So that is where you want to go. What's up, Lowry? Welcome. Good to have you here again. It's been a while. Bones, what's up? I still have to reply and heart your latest comment. I saw it coming in, but I didn't yet have time to answer the latest comments. Up till this day, I've pretty much answered every comment so far ever received on the channel, except the comments for the 10K giveaway campaign. Like, those were hundreds of comments. I couldn't. I just liked all of them, but I didn't reply to all of them. Holy moly. AGGR trade. Yes. Thank you, Hiop. Cheers. Link in the description for long or short. Yeah, probably have to do that. Yanis, what's up? How are you doing? Adam T, Australia. Did you know, like, so before, by the way, in this live stream, of course, we're going to cover Elliott waves. Right? That's what we're going to do. But I always like to chat a little bit at the beginning, right? But we're going to start very soon because, we have some interesting price action, some interesting targets, and some stuff to explain. But Australia, so I spoke to my dad. I asked him, like, hey, Dad, if you in your life still want to go somewhere in the world with my mom, where would it be? And he said, Australia, New Zealand, and West America. The side of California. I've never been to Australia, but oh boy, it's on the bucket list, and it's on the one of my dad as well. So I may have to send him there, maybe surprise him. Nice surprise, because it's been mentioned in a live stream now. Blaze, are we going to break all-time high? The probabilities on the high time frame, the weekly, are higher for that to happen. Sooner or later, continue the trend. But of course, retracements are just part of price. The Fox, how are you doing? Are you not drunk today? This guy. Sarah, what's up? Yusuf, have you used any momentum indicator trading view similar in accuracy? No, unfortunately not. Now, I do know people like to use RSI in combination with Elliott waves, right? Seeing a divergence between a wave 3 and a wave 5. But personally, I don't use RSI, so it's difficult for me to judge. But I do know it can work, yes. So I guess RSI is something you can work in combination with Elliott waves, or can use in combination with Elliott waves. I just personally don't like it compared to CVD. And CVD on TradingView, I so far haven't really found a great one. But it's all statistics. So hey, if someone has found a good one and tracked statistics on it, I'm happy to recommend it to people. Nick, how you doing? Wait, you're in Greece today? Look at you go. Great for some camping tricks. Later I will be drunk. You're the folks. Yo, Sarthak, it's been a while indeed. Welcome here. Crypto a month? That's not great, man. In today's crash. Trade safe, please. Risk management, right? Risk 1%, 2%, max 5% of your portfolio. There's no... It's long-term profitability, long-term consistency. That's what's going to make the big bucks, right? Not a one-day wonder, but this is... it's always sad to hear. Sorry, Crypto Aman. Yeah. Hopefully... the only thing you can do is learn the lesson from it, right? But yo, Sarthak, how you doing? What have you been up to? India, still on the list. Yeah. Yeah, camper van. Okay, guys, I got to start. I can talk forever, but hey, we got to start with the analysis. I'll be back in a second. I also visited America. We rented a car, West America. Went from San Francisco to Monterey. That's where I went on my knees to propose to my now wife. And Carmel by the Sea, to be precise, on the beach. Then we went to Santa Monica, LA, and then Vegas. I mean, it was a great trip. That was a very nice trip. So, shall we start then? Yeah, RSI is lagging behind, and CVD, it's a lot about context and experience. Of course, it's being able to read the CVDs, so it takes a bit of training. Okay. Got married in Las Vegas. Yo, Greenable, are you sure it was first of all a lady? Are you sure it's actually an official marriage as well, and no alcohol before the marriage was involved? Did you marry during the day, or did you marry somewhere in the middle of the night after a couple of beers? You never know, eh? Makes me think of that movie, the what's that, where they wake up with tigers and everything. The Little White Chapel. 17 years. Yeah, I got a lesson to learn from you, eh? We're still in our first year. Congrats, Greenable. Fun fact, the first time I saw Koen's video, I thought, oh, several scenarios, why would you do that? But that was too simple thought at the time. It is a bullish and a bearish scenario, very, very relevant. And then it's all about probabilities. Agreed. Yeah, it's also gone down. The Hangover, thanks, guys. Yeah, exactly. Cheers, Tim. I'll make sure you check it out. Okay, let's start, everyone. We are at the 18th minute. That's important for the timestamp. And yeah, so far, no strength whatsoever. Very nice. Okay, so what we're going to do is cover 3 scenarios. This morning, I actually left one out, but I'll put it in here now. Where am I going to put it? I'm going to put it there. So we're going to start and cover the probabilities at the end. Okay. We're now at minute 19. Cool. So let's start with positivity, at least. So the bullish scenario. Now, I start with it, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's like the highest probability. But and that's because of your wave. But nonetheless, let's cover stuff. So on the daily time frame, of course, the bullish scenario is a finished impulse, where we are then looking for continuation to the upside. We aim for a 2 and then a wave 3. As explained in previous live streams and videos, wave 1 is your problem in this scenario, which is not great for the bullish count. Finishing wave 1 here means we have a truncated 5 on some of the charts, which is very rare. Ending this wave 1 on the left, we have a very shallow and short wave 4, which is also incredibly uncommon, and the highest amount of volume in wave 5 instead of wave 3, which is also rare. So it's not too great, and preferably I would end wave 1 here, so that's why I put it there. Wave 2 target is the 05 to the 786. That's your most common target. So preferably, we still move down. 64.3, 59.8. And we do have a very important support resistance zone, support zone in this case, in that area, which I'll show you in a second, right? So preferably, actually, we still find more downside to hit at least the 05 at 64.3. Now, preferably your wave 2 is finishing after the 382 fib time taken from the start to the end of 1, which is on the 21st of June. After 2, we then look for a 3 to the upside. Now, because of the fib time, I'm putting wave 1 here. Preferably, we are looking for a 3-wave corrective structure ending after the 382. Therefore, a zigzag, which is a common structure, is at least a scenario we have to keep in mind. Now, arguably, a zigzag here is a relatively bullish scenario, right? 3-wave corrective structure, but then you move towards the upside. So this is part of that bullish daily scenario where inside wave 2, we then have a diagonal in a wave A, want to see a 3-wave B, and then a 5-wave C to the downside. Now, this morning I explained that if price can make it all the way up to the 0.7, 66.5K, taken from this high to this low, the probabilities increase to move up and look for higher prices. And the reason is that if we look at this diagonal, all of the waves have to be 3-wave structures. A 3-wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. But all of the waves can be simple, double, or triple zigzags. And not an invalidation, but what lowers the probabilities for a double zigzag in a WXY is hitting the 0.7. So that's why it's on my chart. I have absolutely no interest for any longs as long as price doesn't hit the 07 before taking out the low, which we'll see if it happens during the live stream here. So yeah, price didn't hit that 0.7 so far, which means that in a wave 5 for your 1, 2, 3, 4 and then a 5, you can still expect a potential WXY, which is the bullish scenario. Now, if price moves to the downside and touches this level here, a little bit higher actually, at 62.2K, a diagonal is invalidated, because your wave 5 is not allowed to be longer than wave 3 in a contracting diagonal. Now, it is common for a wave 5 to pass the 1-3 trend line. So this trend line taken from the low of 1 to the low of 3, it's very common for a wave 4 to overshoot it. But we just don't want to hit the 1-to-1 at 62.2K. All right. If we look for a WXY, the final structure, we want to count a zigzag A, B, C to the downside. If we move down in a straight line, that's more bearish, okay? So we want to see a 3-wave move, not a direct move. So just like we had to the downside here, a 3-wave structure. That is what we want to see, right? If we get a straight line down, we got to be very patient. I mean, the probabilities would increase for more bearish scenarios. Now, the support to the downside, most interesting support, 63.4 to 62.9K. Definitely an area of interest for me, but as always, I want to observe the reaction and then see what price does in that area to make a decision if I want to join long in that case or not. A bullish but then bearish scenario here is a flat ABC, take the all-time high, move down to 56K, pretty much a fake out in other words, right? Deviation from the range that we're in, then fall back in the range. Target for B is between 77 and 80K, and we still need price to move up. Now inside B, we're then looking for a double zigzag WXY. Common target for X is the white box, the 0.7. Once again, we don't want to hit it, 61.1K. Price moves down and hits 61.1K. The probabilities for a double zigzag go down significantly, which means this move to the upside, right? And this whole scenario is pretty much a scenario that I won't really have on my chart anymore. So it doesn't really have great probabilities at that moment in time. Inside wave X, we are then looking for a flat A, B, and then a wave C to the downside. Where inside C, we have the exact same diagonal as I have just explained, right? So everything is the same. Wave C in this case is then an ending diagonal structure. Locally this morning, we were talking about price moving to the downside, right? The probabilities were higher to see price moving to the downside because of the 382, Now let me elaborate, because these probabilities, well, clearly played out. We also hit the 886 now, by the way. So the 886 taken from the low to the high. The fact that we've hit the 886 increases the probabilities to sooner or later take the low, as any move to the upside has a higher probability of being a wave C or a wave Y, increasing the probabilities to take the low sooner or later. Now, if you want a great example, we had a move up, 886 touch here, taken from the low to the high. We moved up for a wave C, took the high, moved down, grabbed the lows. Perfect, right? That's what we like to see. So any move to the upside has a high probability of being corrective. Side note that it is quite common after an 886 touch to retest the golden pocket for price to then move up. A golden pocket and either continue or pass it. It's now resistance, in other words. Now, the reason that the probabilities locally were higher to move down is because of what we had going on here. So when I uploaded my first video this morning, somewhere here during the move to the upside, price bounced to the upside and started to create a bit of a range. However, this low here did not yet touch the 0.382. And for any structure, the 0.382 Fibonacci taken from the low to the high is a minimum target, right? If you look for a WXY, ABC, 1, 2, 3, whatever, you know what I mean? So we didn't touch the 382. In other words, probabilities are higher to move down to at least touch the 382 and then take it from there. Now, as then price moved to the downside, we are seeing consistently bearish CVD divergences, which I should open this one in my browser, which I put over here. Right, in the silver. So consistent 3-minute bearish CVD divergences, right? So even though on a 15-minute time frame, you can see a higher low in price and lower low on the CVD, which is bullish. It's a bullish divergence. You want to keep an eye on the 3-minute. This is the move to the downside, right? Look at the bearish CVD divergences. Every bounce that price made during the move down was countered by bearish CVD divergences. And guess what? Once more here as well. Lower high on price. Look at the blue line here. Higher high on the CVD. Once again, a bearish CVD divergence. So in order to be bullish, we first of all need to break that trend of, hey, we're moving down. Every bounce has bearish CVD, right? You want to invalidate the bearish CVDs. You want instead to see price grinding up with bullish CVDs, right? The only reason I went long yesterday, right over here, even though we hit the 886, I explained this during the live stream as well yesterday. We had the 886 touch here. I didn't long in this area at like 65.2 or 3. I started here because we changed the market structure, moved up bullish CVDs, higher low in price, lower low on yellow, price moving up, TP1 over here because we hit resistance. Remember, we had the weekly naked point of control and the target for a wave C here. And the rest was stopped out in break even. So now that price has hit the 886 here, probabilities are higher to sooner or later take out the local low. Cool. And we're gonna observe what price does locally. So your most bearish scenario. Of course, the most bearish scenario is price moving to the downside and take out the low at 56K before 73.8K, the all-time high. If your wave B, and this is the same, so the problem here is quite similar actually as with the bullish scenarios. So we have a problem with the positioning of wave 1 here. But in this most bearish scenario, we also have a bit of an issue with the positioning of wave B. Wave B has to be a 3-wave structure. Now on some charts, this high is higher than this one. So we can't put wave B here and count a 3-wave structure and then look for an impulse down in C. 1, 2, and then eventually 3, 4, 5, because 2 went above 1, which is an invalidation. So wave B has to go on this high, and then we want to see an impulsive structure to the downside. Now there's a lot of overlap here locally. So unless these are very like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2s, and we get the biggest 3 to the downside, this is looking corrective at the moment. Now ending a wave B at the high There's only a few scenarios, right, that we have when we think about corrective structures. Now, clearly, this move to the upside is not a flat. It's not a triangle, right? It's not a sideways structure for a sideways WXY at the moment. We have to think about zigzags. Now, in that case, a zigzag ABC would preferably end here. Because if this is A4, what's your 2? This one candle? Or a double zigzag in a WX and then a wave Y. But your wave Y is very short. Wave Y on many charts didn't go above wave W, right? Very uncommon. And the minimum target for wave Y is generally the 0.618 taken from the low to the high to the low. And then on the chart, which is above the all-time high, which we didn't hit. So that is why preferably for this wave B, you continue ranging as if we haven't yet had enough ranging yet. Where this is your first wave, you're now looking for another 3-wave structure down, a third structure, NB, and then move down for your wave C. At least something I keep an eye on. Common target for C is down here, 54.6, 50.5K. Of course, the more local... We took the low now, didn't we, by the way? Oh, no. All right, we're almost there. So we take it level by level. And the best area of support to the downside is the low of the daily gap. So we touched the daily gap earlier today here, right? During the morning update, it gave a reaction, price moving up. If we lose that level, probabilities are high to fill the gap to the downside, which means 63.1K. Now in that area, we also have the value area low of the volume profile of this range, right? 63.5K, after we lost the point of control here. You can see it's been an important level throughout this range. So we retested the point of control after we lost it, closed candles below, retest, move down, took the low, right? Not a very bullish sign. No? So you definitely want to get back above the point of control to increase bullish probabilities for price to move up. Now the value area low is also in this area, and this is also a bigger support resistance area on this or in this range. The target is 62.9 to 63.5K. Arguably, if you want to stretch it, it's 63.5 to 62K because there's also a daily order block here. So of course the whole order block is an area of support. But this is a good area of support. I mean, if you lose this, there's not much left till you go back to the 50s. So yeah, I mean, we take it level by level, right? So take it as it comes. So currently on the weekly time frame, not covered here. If you have questions, feel free to ask. But on the weekly time frame, probabilities are higher for price to just continue the trend. And on a weekly time frame, we're talking about it's not going to happen today or tomorrow or maybe the day after tomorrow. We're on a weekly time frame, right? So it takes time and ranges are normal. But as it stands on the weekly, the probabilities have not changed as the probabilities are higher for this scenario where we are eventually still looking for a wave 5. Now, this is invalidated if we hit 49.3K. As long as we don't hit 49.3K, there's no reason to think differently. On a daily time frame, the probabilities remain at the moment higher to still take out the high before the low. Low can be taken at a later stage, but to at least continue this range for a longer period of time, but take the all-time high before 56K. Of course, if we do lose the support at 62K, it wouldn't be too great. And locally, the probabilities are higher to take out the low, as explained, due to the 886 touch, bearish CVD divergences. Where is it? Local. So we touched the 886 and we moved to the golden pocket. You love to see it. We spoke about it just now. And there we go again. I don't know what's up with the 886. I know it happens very often. But yeah, there you go. Very nice. So yeah, at the moment, from a trading point of view, I have absolutely no interest in longs until some levels are going to be reclaimed or hit. And yeah, I'm just happy in the short, and that's it. So just seeing how price is going to develop. And that's the analysis. So let's keep an eye on what price is doing. This, of course, was a support resistance area, right? Support, arguably. I mean, we closed first candles below, but the more often you test support, the weaker it becomes. Now we're below this again, so I better just remove this now. This was a target box. Target box was respected initially, but eventually, of course, failed. The bounce, nonetheless, was nice, though. So 2%, 3%. So, yeah, let's keep an eye on what price is doing together. Bit of chatting and Q&A. 1 second here. Oh, by the way, I want to say the following as well. 1 second. Before I go into chatting and Q&A. It's coming. Yo, guys. Whoa, what happened? Everything is black. Ooh, scary. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We officially hit 12K on the channel, which is insane. So incredible. Started on the 20th of February last year. So a year and a couple of months, and here we are. Thanks for the 2 that just joined, by the way. So you know who you are. But yeah, cheers everyone. What a crazy number, 12,000. So look, I am a global keynote speaker. Speaking is my job. It's my work. It's not a job. I'm an entrepreneur in the end, but I speak on global stages, global audiences. The biggest room I ever had offline was TEDx, which was 900 people. And now every video I upload has over 1,000, 1,100, 1,500, I don't even know, like 2K views, which is insane because I just know how big the room has to be to fit that amount of people because I speak. So I speak in front of rooms of 50, 100, 500 people, 1,000, 900 is the most, but online speaking, not YouTube related, is 1,100. But I know how big the rooms are for 900 people or 500 people. And when I see like a 1K plus video, 1,500, 2K, it's insane because it's just so many people. So yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out. It means a lot. It means a lot. It's insane. It's crazy. Such a big number. And it just keeps going up. What the hell? Yeah, thank you guys. Okay. Quick look at where we were and then answering some questions. So I'll check it out, Tim. Ashley's Bitcoin prediction today. She's not home though. Do you? No, I don't use open interest. So I tracked statistics on the open interest in relationship to the CVD divergences back in the day. And I collected a lot of data, but based on the data, I did not find any significant improvement of using CVD with open interest. And therefore, it didn't make sense to use open interest with CVD for the way that I use CVD. So yeah, it's just you put another tool on top of CVD, so you make things more complex, but the return of that effort was not significant enough to use it. So I don't use it. There are divergences in every time frame. Yep, but that's where training comes in, no? Local divergences are always priority, right? So if you are in a 4-hour time frame, daily time frame, you never see me go to those time frames with CVD because they're not relevant, to be honest. It's best to use the 15 and the 3 minute, in my personal opinion. And those are the two that I use the most. The more local, the better it is. No, Ace, not yet. We have to move down to 62.2. Probability is higher to take this low, and then we'll take it from there. Is there a big difference between Neo wave and Elliott wave theory? I mean, I don't know Neo wave, first of all. Elliott wave theory is, of course, the official wave theory where it started. I don't know other wave theories that are. So they must know Elliott waves, and they probably they put their own sauce on top of it. You know, like they got the recipe, but instead of using cheese A, they use cheese B for the pasta. So that's probably what Neo wave is. It's just Elliott waves, but then with a little bit of different sauce on top of it. I don't know what Neo wave is, to be honest. So I would need to research it. But yeah, I use Elliott waves myself, of course. But I can imagine Neo wave by the name is probably related to Elliott waves. So it's like I say, it's a pasta with a different sauce. CVD is cumulative volume delta. It shows you the amount of market longs or market shorts coming in or out of the market. It shows how many people market long or short in a candle, and you can use it for absorption. So if you go to my channel and you scroll down, there's this video here all about CVD, right? Everything you have to know. And in Discord, you have the Good to Know channel, and I got you a template with everything you need to know about CVD, including how to trade it. But that is, of course, it's a tool. So make sure you use it together with other tools as well, right? That's where it shines. And context, bullish CVD at support is, of course, very interesting. Bearish at resistance is also very interesting. How do you calculate CVD? Of course, I'm not a coder myself, but I do like to use the tool. But what CVD represents is market orders. So in a nutshell, right? If we look at an individual candle, and we see here, for example, the CVD yellow and blue are moving to the upside. That means that in this red candle, there's more buyers than sellers, but it closed red. So there's absorption going on, right? Interesting. Now over here, you have some candles where price moves down, CVD moves down, which means the sellers are in control. So more people are selling in that candle. Candle is moving to the downside, right? There is a alignment there. And you can trade divergences using this. So if you have a higher low on price, but you have a lower low on the CVD, it means, so you have a higher low on price, but if you have a CVD that is showing a lower low, it means more people are selling here than here. So there's a possibility of absorption by bigger players. Market shorts being absorbed by market longs. Now be aware of leading divergences. So that is something I keep an eye on when I go to the 3 minute. So we have bullish CVD divergences here, right? Cool. But as price moved down, we also saw consistent 3 minute bearish CVD divergences. Right? And those have a priority. Also here yesterday, we had bullish CVD divergences, but we had bearish as we came down. And as explained, the bullish CVD here wasn't interesting. But the moment we were here and started to move up and saw bullish CVDs here, that is when the probabilities switched. And that is where I then joined, expecting the bigger bullish CVDs to play out. So that's something, at the moment here, we're at the 886. So probabilities are higher to take out the low. Unless we start to see a grind up and, I want to see some bullish CVDs and other stuff. The tools I like to use. A trend line as well. Yeah, 64,500. It's in the, it's just below. Yeah, that would be wicking the low pretty much. So you want to wick the low and then move up. Yo, BTCC, what's up, guys? Look at them joining. They're awake in London. BTCC is one of the partners. And we actually also have a brand new campaign. So the people in Discord know, the people on YouTube not yet. So brand new for you guys. So with the partners, of course, we aim to get you as much stuff as I can, as we can. Of course, it means you're a member. Wait, I actually made this post without putting my link in there. Nice one. So of course, pop. Let me just do this. I'll make it neat later. But yeah, we got a new campaign. Free money. If you deposit 200, you get 10. If you then trade, that's like a 10x trade. You get more money, and then it just rags up till 0807. Bing X also only 8 days remaining to get 800 USDT. Bybit still got a campaign. Blovin still has a campaign as well. But BTCC launched a new one today for all of you, in case you're interested. I think I may sit on my hands, no positions at all. Patience, such a good skill to have as a trader. What's up, UL? How you doing? Welcome. The wave turns into an impulse, not a zigzag. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. We can, of course, still get a three-wave structure, right? You move down, get the low, move back up, and then as third, as long as we get a three-wave structure, it doesn't matter where wave A ends. The alts are getting killed. Yeah, they're probably, if Bitcoin goes down, alts go down as well, for sure. But many of the alts, like on many charts, we saw this. So we made the high on alts, and then we did that, and then a very quick move down, and then this. For such a long time. And then this candle had quite a big wick. So I wouldn't mind seeing those alts fill all of these wicks. Get out of the range, grab the wick, move a bit lower, and then eventually look for a bounce to the upside. As also on the higher time frame on the alts, most of them probabilities are higher to still continue to the upside. Yeah, 12K indeed. Thanks everyone. Yeah. Moving up with volume still. Yeah, man. I mean, it just goes faster because, and I guess I honestly, I don't know anything about YouTube algorithms. I just make videos and hope people like them and find value. I'm not really involved with how things work. But of course, the more subscribers, the more people watch your stuff. And I guess the algorithm picks that up and then shows the video to more people. So it's like a bit of an exponential type of curve. And of course, there's dips as well. Like some weeks, low amount of subscribers. Other weeks, crazy amount of subscribers. So everything goes in waves, of course. But there's consistent growth, which increases like in time as well. So yeah, it's incredible. I'm glad many of you enjoy what we're doing here. Went short after it broke past it. Stop loss 64,830. Have a plan? Stick to the plan. I've gone full digging into USD and ETH until I see some upside. Oh, and ETH as well. I don't know how ETH is holding up at the moment. Cheers, Lowry. 100K next. Dreams. Maybe one day. If we follow the data, it should be 2026. Somewhere in probably like mid-end 2026, based on the data from socialblade.com. So you can find any YouTube channel on that website and you can see the statistics, the analytics. Yo, Cat Unique Tips, a new subscriber. Welcome. How you doing? You are from PK. Help me out, guys. What's PK? It's not Philippines. I don't know what PK is. Pakistan? Yo. Good point. Thanks, guys. Yo, CAD. Pakistan. Must be it, yeah. Yeah, I'm so clueless. CAD Unique Tips. Welcome to the channel, my friend. Work tomorrow and I don't get forward of it out there. Yeah, like, look, I like to trade when I have access to internet. When I'm in a position and, for example, I have to fly I don't mind flying for a few hours and not having an eye on the chart. But if I have a big flight, like an overseas flight, then either my stop loss goes break even, or I prefer to exit. Of course, I have a plan and a strat. So as long as that's valid, it's valid. But I don't like to not check the charts for a significant amount of time. Yaka bro, yeah, it's a thing in all the crypto groups. What I do recommend is to turn notifications or turn invites off, like DMs. Just turn DMs off, or turn DMs from non-group members off, because all the scammers are not in the group. Because there's currently no scammers in the group, but they just reach out to you. So yeah, but you can turn DMs off from people that are not inside a group that you're part of, which should help. Love your site, but please start adding more alts so I can invite all my US-based friends. Utility tokens would be nice. Let me screenshot this. I don't know if BTCC is still hanging out there, but let me write this. 1 second here. I'm gonna put it in the Telegram chat that I have with them. Oh, there you go. Let's see what they say. Is it hard to create a CFD for other cryptos than Bitcoin? I mean, not really. You only have to change the code, right? So what I would recommend, this is the easiest way to learn, is go up here, download the Bitcoin template, the ETH template, and the Sol template, and then just compare. And what you'll see is it's actually quite easy. But if you just compare the templates, you download them, you put them in AGGR, you check the settings, and you'll notice that it's not that difficult. But of course, it takes time, as everything. Can you open a Q&A section in Koen's Discord like you did at Tino's Traders Reality? So they have mentioned, like, so BTCC told me, like, they're very open to answer questions from the community, and but I don't know if I want to give like the partners all separate channels, like Of course, if people have questions about, in this case, BTCC or BingX or Blofin or Bybit, they can write me by email, and I then ask them. But they are in the group. So we have the exchange info, and here I wrote down the contact, so people can also get in touch. So we have BingX, Xena. You saw like on just now on Telegram, right? Xena BingX, and if you signed up, by the way, in the past week, you now got your bonus. So that was the message that you saw. Spot trading, Bybit, that's Mr. Ed. BTCC, Eric, right? So that's the message that you saw when Telegram was on my screen, right? I'm talking with Eric there as well. And then we have Blofin, and that is Junkie. So you can always feel free to click on them and send them a message if you have any questions. At the moment, I don't really have a separate channel for Q&A. No. Brother, with the zigzag turning into an impulse, I mean the lag from wave 4 did not touch the signal, so it could be an impulse of wave A of a bigger zigzag in 5 of the diagonal. Holy moly. Youssef, man, you're always breaking my brain. Yesterday as well, I meant the lag from 67.3k down. Okay, let's see. 67.3k down. Okay, yes, found. Wave 4 did not touch the 618. If this is a wave 4, then that is correct. So it could be an impulse of wave A of a bigger zigzag in 5. So you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Correction, continuation, right? That, yes. that has potential. Wow, the way it was written, I had to think for a second. But yeah, of course, you can have your 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5, move up and a move down. Of course, by all means, in both scenarios, either WXY or ABC, we at least want to have one more bounce. So for the WXY, we want to see this. And in the ABC, you're correct, you want to see this, yes. Salivian, have a good night. Sleep is important. Sleep is important. Hi Kun, could you please explain again how you put your 4-hour one-day blocks? They usually are relevant. Yeah, correct. They're very nicely respected, and I actually have a video all about this, which is an old one, which is, well, it's still relevant today, but how to avoid, I call it how to avoid analysis paralysis. And what I talk about here is I show you the steps on how I create my target boxes, which provide a very clean chart, which is what I love. Hey, we finally took the load, didn't we? Yep, and there you go. Okay, we can remove this now. And there we go. Probabilities locally played out. Oh, very nice. Now we have, of course, the gap, right? We touched the gap now for the second time. So I recommend to check out that video. That will show you exactly what I do. Because you also see, of course, the confluences are right. But I use all my tools, and then I look for confluences in a similar area, and then I put a box there. So that I don't have all the lines on my chart, all the individual lines. Because all those individual lines in the past made it difficult for me to trade support or resistance, because there's always a line. Like you can use all the tools and there's always a line somewhere on the chart. But then what do you choose? You know, so in order to avoid all the paralysis, and so I cut down on the amount of tools, only using the ones that fit me and my style, and then decided to use boxes so I don't have all the individual lines, which keeps the chart very clean. He's the boss man. Oh, hey, BTCC. Yeah, they're still hanging out. Well, they had, like, so they did see the message of Hoshi asking for adding more alts, like utility tokens. So they replied with the emote, this one. You know? So maybe one day. But no, they're great guys. Like they're over the pond in London. How does the daily gap act as support? Does it bounce once most of the time before closing it all again in the gap and filling it, or does it act as a good support? So preferably, of course, a gap has some confluences. So we have the daily gap, right? Daily gap, and we touch the high for a first reaction, as you can see here. So we touched the top of the gap and we had a reaction, right? Now, depending, of course, on the context and the scenario, of course, there's no 100% here, right? So, but generally, when you touch a gap for the first time, you expect a reaction. We got a reaction. And then it's about what's happening next, right? And the scenarios we're looking for. So, I mean, if we talk about the weekly, we also had a weekly gap here. Let me show you. Weekly gap touched, right? So it's on the weekly time frame, weekly candle, wicked inside and moved to the upside. If we close a weekly candle in the gap, probabilities increase to move down to 53K. Right? We still have a weekly gap down here as well, by the way. Now, during the move to the upside, there were several gaps. Let's see if I can find an example. Because I remember one structure, must have been here. I actually think it was this one, but on a lower time frame, we created a gap here. I would probably need to go to the 15, but a gap here, and then we touched the high of the gap, moved to the upside. And gaps are relevant, but then of course it depends on what's happening next. So here you then touch it, range, and then eventually continue. But of course you have moments where you touch a gap and eventually it fails. Another gap, by the way, but this is a little different, it's more single prints, was this wick. So you can go to the video I uploaded on Friday, the 20th of October, if you're interested. But we touched the low of a single prints area, which is pretty much like what a gap is, and had a bit of a reaction, ranging. But the moment we closed the lower time frame candle inside that gap, we filled the wick immediately. So we just filled it, and then we started ranging again. So yeah, gaps are interesting, and it's always something that I keep an eye on. But of course, the low of the gap is in confluence with other stuff as well, which is nice. Some additional support. 62.5, 60. Does Elliott wave also point to a lower low? Yes. I mean, we now also made the lower low, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, a gap, like, let me be more specific. When we talk about good support, preferably you're trending up, of course, right? So if you have, just like the 50 minutes, so you have price moving, and then you create a gap, and then you range again here, and then you hit the gap, and then you continue. You know, that's nice, right? Because you're in an uptrend as well. Of course, the moment you're in a downtrend, and after a very long time you come back, so it took a while, right? Of course, it can still act as support. It's important to know about, which is why I have it on my chart, right? And it's just probabilities, observing the reaction. But the nicest ones is if you have a trend, and then in that trend you create a gap, and then you come back in the gap to then continue. That's nicest. Do you ever sleep? I try to. No, I do. But there's always something to do. So I sleep about around 7 hours. But I actually want to, because I generally still tend to work like in the evening or something, like either comments or emails or keeping an eye on Discord. Sometimes it's babysitting in there, and but yeah, you know, sleep is important. So it is, luckily, it is. Yeah, Junkie's a great guy. He's awesome. Charles is his name. We can yes. So that answered that question. Kun is AI generated. Yeah, I'm plugged in. 67 200, 64 50, 80% gain. That trade was inspired from watching your streams. Thank you so much. You click the buttons. I'm happy to contribute with sharing knowledge and stuff, but I'm not responsible for the wins and the losses. But of course, you say inspired, and I'm always happy to inspire and provide some insights. But of course, you had the plan, you traded your plan, and you made profit because of your plan. So congrats, Ace. That's what we like to hear, especially, of course, after what happened. I think, what was it, like last week or something? So good stuff, man. Good stuff. And it was, I mean, look, it was a great setup, eh? Right? We were live streaming here as well, 3-minute bearish CVD divergences, and then overnight for me, more bearish CVD divergences here. Of course, I was sleeping at this moment in time, but I was already part of it anyway. So, yeah. A reaction at the 50% level of the gap, the middle of the gap. VPNs don't always work. I think Blovin and BTCC can be used without VPN. No? But if you want to use BingX or Bybit, you have to use VPNs, or just go to Blovin BTCC, of course. Kyle, how you doing? Welcome. Sam, what's up? Kevin, it's a pleasure. Big fan of you from South Korea. Kyle, what's up? Thanks for your message, man. South Korea, where are you staying? So I've been in South Korea multiple times because of my gaming and esports background. And I've been to Busan many times. Still remember like an awesome story in Busan where we went on top of a hotel, which obviously it wasn't allowed, but I don't know, things happen at night. So we got up, had to open some doors, but eventually got up to the roof of the hotel with an amazing view of the bridge that gives colors, right? The bridge over the river that is colored at night next to the beach. And it was a helicopter platform, and we stayed there for hours. I'll probably be able to find a picture if I search for it. Yeah, so this bridge, right? So that's the bridge we're talking about. Maps. Okay. Ooh, mate. Yeah, so I mean, I've been to Busan, but I had like, I have no idea where that bridge is here, yo. Busan. Busan Bridge. This one. I have no idea. Oh wait, I think it is this one, no? Yes. The one with the lights. So that is the one that we looked out to. Airport. I forgot where we were staying. Probably be able to find it. On the roof. Yeah, we were on the roof of the hotel. Let me quickly have a look here. Search. I'm going to search in my agenda. Got to click a couple of times. Yeah, I won't be able to find the hotel though. Nonetheless, it was a nice place. I enjoyed walking around in Busan. I'm in Seoul. Hope you can visit someday later. Yeah, I'll be your guide. I'll remember that. So when I travel, I always write it in Discord, and I always update people on YouTube as well. Because I make a separate video to update everyone, so the expectations are right. So when I go, you'll know, and we can get in touch on Discord. Yeah. So probably in December, I'll be in China. For the Global Esports Federation. We might see more bearer. Reals Adriano. Yeah, so the probability is locally played out. So now that has happened, we now, of course, observe what price does. So now we just wig the low here. No VPN needed. Yeah, exactly. I'll try to write easier now. How we can now, in the move from 67.3, differentiate between the impulse in A and the double zigzag WXY finished already. A finished WXY. We need a... So that's your W, that has to be your X, and then this has to be your Y. But in that case, look at your ABC. Right? It's a very long ABC. Now what did happen is this is an 886 touch from these two pivots. So there's definitely a potential wave Y there, but then we take a trend-based fib from the high to the low to the high. We just missed out on a minimum target for a wave Y. So, preferably if you're looking for a double zigzag, you'd like to see a little bit lower to hit that 0.618. right? And yes, there is of course the possibility for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right, where your price action is still wave 4 price action, and in that case we don't want to touch the 618, which we haven't done. Got very close though. So it's going to be keeping an eye on the 618 because that invalidates a wave 4. And in for a wave 5, if you look for an impulse down, you want to see, of course, a 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5 wave structure. In a double zigzag, preferably, you still see one more low because you want to touch the 0.618 trend-based fib, which generally is a minimum target. It's very uncommon for a Y to not hit that. Cruising with Borgie from Australia as well. We got some people from Australia coming in. It's evening there, and that's quite late probably, no? 9, 10 p.m. And in levels at which we can switch probabilities from impulse to WXY. Yeah, so hitting the 618 invalidates. Well, now that we took the low, we can't actually use it. So you could have a finish 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is your wave 5 to the downside. Right? So in that case, you're going to be looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a wave 5. And then you want to see this, right, for an ABC. If you look for a WXY, the structure might be quite similar, but what you're going to be looking for is a bigger bounce. Right, so potentially you invalidate a local 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You might invalidate wave 4, but then that is your B, sorry. Right, ABC. So keeping an eye on the 618 for a wave 4, so that's an invalidation for a wave 4. And yeah, just keeping an eye on the structure. All right, for the WXY, we preferably take out the low one more time. And of course, if you're looking for a bigger zigzag, the same would happen. So personally, I'm like, look, if price is not going to go all the way up here and move above this box, I'm not interested. I'm just waiting. Yeah, so. Where's the zombies? What's up, Obelix? How you doing? Membership highlighted name. Yeah, we have that in our group as well. So we have the members with a highlighted name as well. When will this big correction end? As Warren Buffett once told me, a strong correction is a weak erection. Yeah, Warren Buffett coming in hot. When will the big correction end? Yeah. When it does, we don't know when it will end, right? We can only take it step by step. We can keep an eye on time. We know local probabilities. We know the weekly probabilities. But even though you know weekly probabilities, continuation of the trend has a higher probability, these type of structures are all part of trading. And arguably, of course, there's a scenario where you're already finished and this is your wave 1. It's just that the issue is your wave 1. So yeah, I'm definitely keeping an eye on, of course, bigger sideways corrective structures where you're not yet finished. But yeah, we'll probably be sticking around there for a little bit longer, yeah. So we just take it level by level, and locally probabilities were higher to move down and take the low, which now happens. So step by step. If you have all the Fiblas somewhere in Discord, part of gold. Well, first of all, I can't actually share them because TradingView, so I can't share templates. You know, they're not saved on my system. They're just saved here in TradingView. And I run through all of the fibs in gold. Yeah, so I have a video in gold where I go through every scenario with every fib and the target and common, rare, and all that stuff. So that's very much dedicated to going through the fibs one by one, bum, 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 bum. Of course, something similar, but not exactly the same, can be found in the playlist. Which is, in case you didn't see it yet and you're here, this is everything you have to know about Elliott waves. It's all in here, right? Fib retracements, common targets, rare targets, uncommon targets, Fibonacci extensions, fib time, volume, tips, example, pop, 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 pop. So everything is in here. Of course, the fibs are also shown in here, but it's more scattered. While in gold, things are more condensed, right? And there's a lot more content in gold, besides, of course, me giving feedback all the time and looking at charts. I also have longer videos in gold, going over different structures or the fibs. We have private live streams there as well. I have many videos. I have a whole playlist where I show how to start counting from an empty chart. So many altcoin analysis charts as well. So, oh wait, we were here. Bro, I'm in Tokyo. Yeah, my dad was in Tokyo last year. I've never been there myself. He had to go there for work. He's a director of a company overseeing Europe and Asia. So he regularly has to fly to Asia. Do we now have all criteria to validate a leading diagonal? Yeah, so far so good, Pixel. Of course, volume is something interesting as well. And of course, if we look at the volume, then so far, price is making lower lows, but you can also see that the volume is moving down, right? So that is also something that you want to see, which also indicates that we might be close to a potential bounce. But of course, therefore, we want to see some local strength. And what I personally like to see is this is such an interesting area of support for me. I would dig it if price comes down there so I can observe the reaction, because I don't have limits set or whatever. I'm very much a reactive trader, so I look what price does and then I enter. But that would be an area of interest. And locally at the moment, I have no interest. I'm in a short. I mean, so that's that. But locally, I don't really have interest yet, unless we can claim some important levels, and then I'll be looking for price to move to the next area. So I very much take it level by level at the moment. We had resistance here yesterday. We saw support or a weakness. Trade to weakness. So it was even mentioned. It was even on stream. So we were mentioning it, hitting resistance, bearish CVDs on the 3-minute time frame. It's raining here. Yeah, it was nice. To wave 2 of the diagonal so far. This gives an idea what wave 2 of the diagonal. 1, 2. Well, of course, if this is your 2, your 4 preferably is finished now, right? And your ABC here. So preferably 4 is finished, and this is your final leg down in 5. SLFF, how you doing? Welcome. Stop loss forfeit. Blaster, we're printing something similar. Oh yeah, so we got there. Yo, cheers, Hoshi. Have a good one. Have a good one. Youssef, always a pleasure. Sarega, what's up? Are you planning to do an SPA like you did with gold? The stock market is on all-time high. It should definitely affect the crypto for the better or the worse. Just by the fact that it is currently at all-time high means you can't really analyze a lot. Because if you're in all-time high mode, which is price discovery, you have to wait for ranges to form to get back to probabilities locally. Of course, I can have a look and then probably have a better idea of where we might top and start a range. But in the end, we gotta see a significant range forming again on SPX to reanalyze probabilities for either continuation up or down. And as long as we don't have a significant sideways structure, upside is expected. That's pretty much going to be the conclusion of the analysis. But I think I do have something on SPX. What's the code? But I never look at this stuff. Is it? No, not this one. Is it the other one? TVC. I don't even have any analysis here. No. Interesting. Isn't there another? Oh, wait. Okay, here we go. Wow, why is everything so scattered? So, yeah, the volume is always so useless on these type of charts. No, can't really use it. Yeah, so weekly time frame, right? Price is pushing to the upside here on SPX. So, yeah, you just need to wait for a range. Arguably, if we look at an impulse here, we have, of course, a double 1-2 or a single 1-2 here, and then a small little wave 4 potentially. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So by all means, if you want to remain bullish, you're going to be looking for 4 5s on the weekly, because these are going to be your 1-2s. So you're looking at least for wave 4s here, the size of your wave 2s, if not longer. So on a weekly time frame, unless you actually start to create a bigger range, we just go up. Yeah. So, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly. Get a bit of retracement continuation. So, yeah. Just wait for a range. So, yeah, we also... So, okay, so flat has low probabilities here. So higher probabilities. This is an impulsive structure. So either looking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, correction, continuation in that case. Or of course, on the bigger context, you finish a bigger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, get a bigger correction and then move up. Because so probabilities are higher to move up because you haven't seen wave 4 similar in size to your wave 2s. Unless, of course, you create an expanding flat on a weekly time frame, which would be very bad for crypto. We're not out of the danger zone yet. You would need to hit 5.6K for that to happen. So you're still in flat territory, but the most common flat area is the 1.236 to the 1.38, which is currently we're above that area, right? So if price can reach 5.6K, I mean, bullish is on. So yeah, but then again, wait for a range to form and then reanalyze the chart. So from an Elliott wave point of view, price discovery is probably the easiest way, like it's the easiest count, because there's no count. It's just wait for a range. The moment you're in price discovery, you're just going to wait for a retracement. So where was the so the all-time high? 69, of course. So we took all-time high for the first time here. And then you just wait for a range. Of course, we didn't yet have all of this information, right, back in the day. But as long as you're pushing up price discovery, it doesn't make sense to go short in a bull market and an uptrend. You just wait for a bigger range to form. Eventually, you get a retracement. And yeah, you got to accept a 10% or a 20% drop. But how often do you get that in a bull market? No, it's absolutely normal. So what I then look for is I want to observe the range. Because after a retracement, you always get a bounce. And then based on the retracement, I will get a better idea of, hey, I got to sell my position, or it's a corrective structure and we look for continuation up. So it's just probabilities. So I just wait for a range. And we definitely got one, yo. Man, we've been here forever, it feels like. Yeah, cheers, Kevin. Yeah, having all the fibs definitely helps. 100%. Yes, that is a Asuna rib. That would be a solid zigzag scenario that I keep an eye on for A, B, C, right? Yes. That's one of the structures I have on my chart as well. What I am, do this, that. I don't know. I mean that wave 5 is currently printing a similar pattern that we got to wave 3. Ah, I see. Yeah. Messy structure to the downside. This one here. You know, price, it doesn't rhyme, or it doesn't repeat, but of course it can rhyme. So you mean this. So in that case, right, we're here, want to see a bit of a range, da 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 da. But for now, we wig the low and you know, take it as it comes. Cheers, Serigo. That would be altcoin stuff. But Andy, because you're in gold, just send me a message in gold. If you analyze the chart first for your practice, of course, and then send me a count, and I'll check it, plus I'll analyze it myself. It's good for education and training, of course, when people try to count it themselves, and then I check, give feedback, count it myself, give my idea. But you can do this in gold. You don't need to ask in so the public, of course, is altcoin Sunday, but in gold, you know, just ask whenever. Yeah. Cheers. Cheers, Obelix. Esta la última. M58. Je don't speak this language. Yeah, I unfortunately won't be able to answer that question. What's the announcement regarding Jeroen? You may have seen in Discord, he's got a new tag, as well as Mark and maybe a Band-Aid, by the way. Of course, I will write more about it, but he's going to be part of the team. A bit more officially. More will come. So far, so good, name. What's up, by the way, name? It's been a while. Gecko Vigo is rond de 62k Bitcoin VP level, waardoor we terug naar all-time high gaan. 60. So the question is 62k a level with which we can go back to all-time high? Well, 62k is definitely, arguably, the strongest area of support you have to the downside. Losing that wouldn't be too great. So of course the potential is there for a wave A, maybe finish then B, end wave C at 62k, and then move up from there. But one can't confirm it as we hit 62k and then all-time high. It has the potential to, yes, but it's all level by level, of course, and we always update scenarios 3 times a day as new information comes in. But there is at least the potential, yes. Sui, how are you doing? Of course, it depends on the reaction. I'm a reactive trader. I just want to see what happens. Sui Mina, welcome. Good to have you here. Yeah, I'll of course explain it in a little bit more detail later. So I'm gonna meet Jeroen on Saturday, and that is where the signing happens, and then probably an announcement in the weekend. Zarafa. Can you determine, based on Elliott wave, if a range like the high time frame one we are in now, is it distribution or accumulation? And is this something you take into consideration? I'm not in a long position. No, I'm in a short from higher, but it's already managed. Based on a range, I can analyze the probabilities for continuation to the upside, or of course the end of an impulse structure and a bigger move to the downside, right? But if it is distribution or accumulation, is not something that I use in my analysis. And based on Elliott waves, one can't determine accumulation or distribution. Of course, in a way you can. If you look for a wave 2, you look for accumulation. If you're in a wave 4, you're looking for distribution, right? So, but it's of course not written on the chart. So if you have an impulse, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your wave 2 is your accumulation. People accumulating, push to the upside. Your wave 4 is your distribution, where people load off after the biggest move has happened, and after a wave 5, you then expect a bigger retracement to the downside. So from an Elliott wave perspective, it's not like written on the chart, but you do expect this as accumulation and that distribution. Now, when we think about scenarios, when we talk about wave 4, then arguably we're talking about distribution, no? But of course, in a bigger trend, you can have multiple 1-2s. And sometimes a range might look like a wave 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 retracement, but actually it's a wave 2 and you get an even bigger wave 3. So it was accumulation and not distribution. But that's only something you know in hindsight, of course. But by all means, if you get this range, it doesn't matter if we're looking for a wave 4 or a wave 2, because we're looking for price to take the high, and when it does, we just observe what happens. And if we get a very big push, we're happy, right? So yeah, it's just probabilities. If the probabilities are higher to take the high, and once we take the high, we just observe what happens. We take it step by step, yeah. So you can talk about distribution, accumulation in Elliott waves, absolutely. Depends on how you identify the wave structure. Yeah. He is. What the hell? ETH gonna crash in a few min. I don't know. I haven't checked the ETH chart myself, but yeah, maybe. What do you think is going to happen in the next couple of days with USDT, USDC, BTC, and all other altcoins? With regards to alts, right? I have the Alt Sunday stream, and sometimes I do alts throughout the week. But on many charts, we had a quick move down and started ranging sideways for many days. So it would actually be great to fill the wick that many of the alts have before anything else. So a bit more downside to fill the wick and then up. Because on the higher time frames, you know, pretty much all of the alts on a weekly still have a higher probability to continue the trend. But in the next couple of days, I don't know, because I don't really keep an eye on alts. You know, I on a weekly basis, I check them in the altcoin streams, I'd say. Yeah. Based on FIP time, when is the potential to have the top? Gabriel, if you want to be flexible between September 2024 and October 2025. If you want to compare the previous bull markets in more detail, it would be March 2025 to October 2025. Almost lost myself in the process. You mean name trading wise, or studying Elliott waves, or what happened? Cheers, Zarafa. It's like a bear market. No, discount. Yeah. But also it's healthy for the market to have the retracements, and make sure to zoom out as well if you're doing alts, right? You had a big move up. Of course, if you make alts also moving crazy percentages, so make sure you manage trades, take the profits, treat yourself, go for din, whatever. But yeah, the ranges are part of a bull market. No, probabilities are still higher; they move up on a weekly time frame. But having retracements is normal. Would you teach your kid Elliott waves? Well, I think one kid is going to be called Elliott and the other one is going to be called Waves. Yeah, so makes life easy. And then they'll be asking, "Yo, Dad, how did I get my name?" And I'll be like, let me tell you a story. Other than that, serious note, if they are interested, then absolutely, yeah. It depends on what they like to do. So if they like this industry, if they like trading or investing, I'll definitely teach them. So I just want to support their interest. Of course, if the dad and the mom have certain industries that they work in, they kind of grow up with knowledge automatically. But if they're also interested in what we do, then yeah, absolutely, I'll teach them 100%. But if they're not interested and they are interested in another expertise, other field, I'll help them in that other field. You know, they definitely don't need to do the same as I do, but if they want to, well, absolutely. Mind elaborating? What is EW? Wait. Well, let me read 1 second. Yeah. So, Suimina, I guess I agree with Mark. So it looks like you're very new to trading. So first of all, I agree with what Mark says as well. Put time in studying first before you put money in this market, because the chances are very high you're gonna lose, not win. Second, Elliott waves, or EW is Elliott waves, and Elliott waves is a strategy. That's what it is. Elliott wave theory, right? It's a way to analyze the chart and attach probabilities to future price action based on past price action, of course. That's the only way to analyze the chart, really. So, and that is what I cover in all my videos and all my content. Now, as you don't know what Elliott waves is, I recommend first of all to check out this playlist, but I'm afraid it's maybe already a little bit too advanced, even though it's a beginner's guide. It's a beginner's guide for people that at least know, like, okay, Elliott waves is waves on a chart. So I don't know, maybe I have to make an introductory video, but I would recommend still to check out this playlist. It's on the channel. You can find it if you go to my homepage and just check this out. You'll learn everything you need to know about Elliott waves, and you'll get a better understanding of what we do on the channel and how it works. But trading wise, if you're new, please don't put money on the exchange. First build experience in the market, use some tools, try to build a strategy, right? Collect data, and then trade after. If you want to trade, it doesn't matter where price is. No FOMO involved. 100K, 10K, doesn't matter as a trader, because it's about the intraday moves, or, you know, a couple of day moves. But yeah, preferably stay safe, because I have a feeling you're going to wreck yourself. Do you think USDT is going away in a year? And if so, I have no idea what's happening from a fundamental point of view, so I won't be answer to answer, or I won't be able to answer the question. Healthy for the market, but not healthy for me. Yeah, I understand. How far are you in choosing your house in the south of France? Greets Ben. What's up, Ben? We're close. We're close. So I visited a apartment last week. We have another one actually that we got in touch with, which is very nice as well. But so it's quite easy. We need to have a place before the end of July, else we're going to be homeless. So we'll be good. We'll be good. We're working on it. Yeah. Moon Boy is a nice name. Yeah. One moon and the other boy. Son, you are created in wave 3 super cycle. My best times. You were created in wave 3 when price was pushing to the... Okay, we go too far here. It's not a Peggy 18. Ballas, what's up? How are you doing? Welcome. Don't forget to suggest the books. Oh, you mean... Yeah, so in the description, you mean? Oh, yeah, step 6. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's true. So, Sui, good one. Sui Mina, below the live stream, there's a couple of books in the trading/money section. Yeah, you got to scroll down a bit. And those are books that I recommend to read. And there's also an Elliott Wave book there, right? But also a trading psychology book. There's two actually, Trading in the Zone and The Mental Game of Trading. You have books, Market Wizards, which I think are great inspirational books, and more. So make sure to check it out. It might give you some foundation of what you're getting yourself into. On learning for around 3 years that I forgot the most important: fam, friends, and myself. It's a hard reality sometimes, huh? Trading is also a business, and launching a business comes with, oftentimes giving up on some stuff. But balance is important. So I'm happy that you found a bit more balance again. Should we go through the playlist in the exact order? That is definitely recommended, because I build the playlist in such a way that you start with the easiest and you end with the most complex. So you can't start with WXY without knowing what a impulse, flat, and stuff is. So yes, it's very much recommended to go from start to the end, from the beginning to the end. That's also why it's organized this way. It makes most sense. Close or directly at the ocean? Close. We do like to, we like an ocean view, but I don't like to be on the beach. You know what I mean? Trading view. I think it's almost a rite of passage as a trader. Kinda, yeah. Reading the books, getting experience. It's part of most people's journey. Yeah, absolutely. Daddy had some bullish momentum and broke mommy support. I'm not sure if I should have said that out loud. It is God. Mark one. Knitter. Also, you look how much you spend instead of how much you earn. I'm not sure what you mean with the comment, Murat. With regards to trading, what's a good percentage of return every month? Well, risk reward, yes, risk to reward is important for SWE. Google risk to reward as well, but a good percentage. I'm afraid that pretty much depends on your portfolio size. However, I have something to say about this though. If you have a small portfolio, don't try to gun for 100% gain in a week. Learn the fundamentals of trading. Try to get yourself a profitable month first. Having a 3% gain per month is very good. It might sound very little, but if you can be consistent with a 3%, and of course some months you'll have 10%, and other months 1, and other months 20, and other months 7. I just want to keep it simple that 3% is really good, but it's about portfolio size, because if you trade with $100 and you get 3% in a month time, you're like, fuck, I worked for a whole month for $3. I can get myself a coffee if you're lucky. Not in the Netherlands. However, if you learn the fundamentals of trading and you are consistently profitable, the account size won't matter anymore. So you can trade the same with $100, 1K, 10K, 100K, which means that a way to increase your portfolio size once you get the consistent profitability correct and you got a strategy and a plan is, for example, fund the challenges or put more of your money in an account slowly. Now, I personally think if you can make a couple of percent in a month, you're doing better than most of the traders anyway. You don't need 10%, 20%, 50%. Some of the pictures you see online probably taken with $1 trades. Look at me, I'm at 100% profit. Yeah, very nice. So it's about consistently profitable. And the best thing to do is to take it easy. Take it easy. Small percentage every month. And once you, for example, right, if you make 3% or 5% or 10% in a month. 3 to 5 is a nice target to start with for sure. I mean, in general, 3 to 5%, honestly, is just a good target. If you make 5%, just withdraw 50% of the earnings, let the other 50% on, and just do something with it, right? Use it, get yourself something to drink. Treat yourself, because it's real money in the end. It's not just numbers on the screen. But make sure you learn about what Murat says, risk to reward. That's very important. And that's correct, what Mark says as well. So with every trade you take, focus on how much you lose if you're wrong. So you need a plan and a strategy. You need a place where you know you're wrong. So a stop loss, right? You need a target. You need to find an entry based on your plan. And based on your stop loss size, you can get a position size, which is important for the risk you take. And generally, especially for Sui Mina, please only risk 1% of your portfolio in the beginning. Don't try and risk 50% because your account is going to go down real quick. So just risk 1% and try to keep your learning as cheap as you can. Right? If you go to school, you don't want to pay a premium. You want to pay as little as possible, right? You just want to go to school. You want a good quality, high quality school. Well, welcome here. But you don't want to pay more than you have to for school. So keep it little. The earnings will come. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It is a double-edged knife. I mean, in the end, entrepreneurship is like you're putting your heart and soul into something, and you're so focused on trying to grow something that people around you might, they feel your, they feel like you don't put time and effort in them anymore, or they might not understand what you're doing. But it's all about balance, so double-edged knife. But it's good you're working on yourself. Look, I am Dutch. Yes. Is the chart behind you a daily or 1 hour? Good question. It's a 1 hour. Yep. Tax as well. Depends a little bit on how you set up things, but yeah. At what price are you going to change position into a long? Depends on the reaction, right? I don't have a set price where I change in a long. I have areas of interest, and depending on the reaction, I might take a long. And an area of interest is 63.5 to 62.9. But then again, it depends on how price comes down here, and then I want to observe the reaction if price comes down there. If price can flip this resistance, then I'm also interested. But at the moment where price is now, well, I'm not interested. Ik kom uit het zuiden van Nederland. Ah, me too dan. I grew up in Brabant. And now live in Gouda. I was meditating or something. No problem. No problem. Anyone can say anything, yeah? Meditation can help as well. Realization. Fear and greed index is still on the greed side. Bulls needs more liquidity to push the market up. Probably would be excellent. Then boom to the moon. I agree, Andy. I also like these psychology scenarios where you take certain lows or move down lower than expected, and then you reverse. So people get, they go out of their positions, they are selling, and then they're selling into the hands of people that are stronger and move price to the upside. So yeah, that would be nice. Single prints begin and fill at the levels you mentioned. Yes, this is the low of the gap. So then the single prints are indeed filled. Correct. And there's a couple of other confluences here as well. Value area low of the big range, order block, support resistance area, low of the gap. I do love my single print sweep knife catches. Have a plan, have a strategy, trade the plan, trade the strat, right? Catching knives can be incredibly profitable. You need a very good strat to manage catching the knives. But that's what it is, right? It's about creating a plan, having a strat. Oh, some more bearish CVDs. But this one already played out. So we have a red candle, CVD moves up. In candle bear CVD, but it already played out because we took the low of the candle. So it's, preferably a bit of market structure, but yeah. Okay, everyone. It is that time where the live stream for today is coming to an end, as I will have to do some other stuff here in the house, around the house, and my work as well. And I want to do sports. It's raining, but actually rain is very nice. I think I'm gonna go for a run outside in the rain. Nice cooling down, because holy moly, it's warm. I thought I was invincible. I was wrong. Oh yeah. I've been there. Yeah, you think you know everything, and then it bites you in the ass and you're losing. Oh boy. Yeah. But cheers everyone. Thanks for being here. And thanks for saying thanks. Maybe a band-aid, Mark. Thanks for hanging out. Jeroen. Oh yeah, okay. Your color will change. So thanks everyone for being here. Some nice price action on the chart. You know what we're looking for, right, with regards to the probabilities and the price action. So let's see what price is going to deliver. And we had some news today. We have some news on Thursday again. So tomorrow is a news empty day, but yeah, we'll see, right? So hey, if you have any questions, write them in the comments after this live stream, or of course just tag me in Discord, and I'll make sure to try and answer as much as I can. That being said, have a good one. Thanks everyone, and I'm gonna see you again tomorrow.